Right now, a universe of information, videos, music, messages from loved ones, the entire collected knowledge of humankind is flowing through the very air you breathe, an invisible river of data pouring directly into the device in your hands. It's a miracle we've not only grown accustomed to, but have come to demand. We only ever notice this silent, tireless magic when it flickers and dies, plunging us back into a disconnected silence that feels almost primitive. What is this invisible force we call Wi-Fi? How did we learn to command the air itself, turning empty space into a superhighway for data? Today, we pull back the curtain on the everyday miracle you use every single second. And trust me, the story is far more incredible than you can possibly imagine. Let's rewind the clock for a moment, back to a time not so long ago, a time many of us remember well. The late 1990s. The digital world was dawning, but it was a world of anchors and chains. To access the burgeoning expanse of the internet, you had to be physically bound to it. Imagine a computer, a bulky beige tower, humming away, not on a sleek modern desk, but tethered to the wall by a thick, unyielding serpent of a cable, the Ethernet cord. This was our portal, our one and only link to cyberspace. Your digital life was confined to a single room, a single desk. If you wanted to check your email on a laptop, a clunky heavyweight machine by today's standards, you had to find a physical port, a jack in the wall, and plug in. The dream of working from the couch, of streaming a movie in bed, or looking up a recipe in the kitchen was just that, a dream. The internet was a destination, not a constant companion. It was a place you went to, not something that came with you. For businesses, this meant entire office floors webbed with a labyrinth of blue and gray cables, hidden under carpets and snaked through ceilings. Setting up a new computer was a physical chore, an act of construction as much as it was an act of technology. In this wired world, the concept of wireless data felt like something straight out of science fiction, an idea as fantastical as flying cars or teleportation. Engineers and visionaries, however, saw the absurdity in this limitation. They looked at the radio, which had been sending voices and music through the air for nearly a century, and asked a simple, yet revolutionary question. If we can transmit the human voice, why can't we transmit data? Why can't we teach the air to speak the language of computers? This question, this nagging dissatisfaction with the tyranny of the tether, was the spark that ignited a quest to sever the last physical chain holding the digital world back. It was a chase for a vision of true freedom, the freedom of untethered, unhindered, invisible connectivity. The story of Wi-Fi doesn't begin in a Silicon Valley garage in the 90s. Its roots dig much deeper, back to the smoke-filled battlefields and clandestine operations of World War II. In the 1940s, a brilliant and famously beautiful actress, Hedy Lamarr, worked with composer George Antheil to develop a secret communication system. Their invention used a technique called frequency hopping to prevent enemy forces from jamming radio-controlled torpedo signals. By rapidly switching between frequencies in a predetermined piano roll-like sequence, the signal became nearly impossible to intercept. While the U.S. Navy shelved the technology at the time, this groundbreaking patent laid the conceptual groundwork for the secure, spread-spectrum radio technologies that would, decades later, become the backbone of modern wireless communication. The idea lay dormant for years, a piece of forgotten genius. But as the 20th century waned and the digital age dawned, the need for a wireless solution became undeniable. In the 1970s and 80s, corporations began experimenting with proprietary wireless networking systems. But they were clunky, incredibly expensive, and worst of all, they couldn't talk to each other. A wireless card from one company was useless with a router from another. The industry was a Tower of Babel, speaking a dozen different digital languages with no common tongue. The breakthrough came in 1997. After years of deliberation and collaboration, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE, released the very first official standard for wireless local area networks. It was given the decidedly uncatchy name 802.11. This was it, the Rosetta Stone for wireless communication. It was humanity's first unified, standardized language for sending data through the air. By today's standards, that first version of Wi-Fi was painfully slow, offering a maximum speed of just 2 megabits per second. You'd be lucky to download a single song in under 10 minutes, and streaming video was an absolute fantasy. It was imperfect, it was clunky, but it was a monumental first step. It proved that the concept was viable. It was the crack in the dam of wired connectivity, and through that crack, a torrent of innovation was about to pour. That humble, sluggish standard, 802.11, wasn't just a technical specification. It was a declaration of independence from the physical cable, the first note in a symphony that would change the digital world and our daily lives forever. So, what is this invisible force we gave the catchy, memorable name Wi-Fi? For years, a popular myth circulated that the term stood for wireless fidelity, a clever marketing play on the hi-fi, high-fidelity audio systems of the past. It's a great story, but it's completely false. The name Wi-Fi was actually coined by a branding consultancy called Interbrand. The group developing the technology, the Wireless Ethernet Compatibility Alliance, which would later become the Wi-Fi Alliance, needed a user-friendly name, something far more appealing than IEEE 802.11b. Interbrand proposed Wi-Fi, and it stuck. The wireless fidelity tagline was added as an afterthought and was quickly dropped, but the myth endures. The reality of Wi-Fi is both simpler and far more profound. It isn't magic, and it isn't some mysterious energy field. Wi-Fi is, at its core, simply a sophisticated form of radio. It's a close cousin to the AM/FM radio in your car, the walkie-talkies you used as a kid, and the broadcast signals that bring television to remote areas. All of these technologies operate on the same fundamental principle. They are all part of the vast, invisible electromagnetic spectrum. This spectrum is a continuum of energy waves, ranging from extremely low-frequency radio waves, miles long, to incredibly high-frequency gamma rays, smaller than an atom. Tucked within this immense spectrum is a small specific slice that governments around the world have set aside for unlicensed public use. This is where Wi-Fi lives, primarily in two frequency bands, the 2.4 GHz GHz and 5 GHz GH bands. Think of these frequencies as specific radio stations, but instead of broadcasting music or news, they broadcast data. A gigahertz means 1 billion cycles per second. So, a 2.4 GHz signal is an electromagnetic wave oscillating back and forth 2.4 billion times every single second. It's by manipulating these incredibly rapid oscillations that Wi-Fi is able to encode, transmit, and decode the massive amounts of digital information that underpin our modern world. It's not fidelity, it's physics, a masterful application of a century of radio science, harnessed to set our data free. This is where the true magic of engineering comes into play. How do you take the cold, hard logic of digital information, the endless streams of ones and zeros that make up a photo, a video, or an email, and transform it into a physical traveling radio wave? The process is called modulation, and it is the work of a digital alchemist. Imagine a perfectly steady, predictable radio wave being broadcast from your router. It's a constant, unchanging hum. This is called a carrier wave. On its own, it carries no information. It's a blank canvas. Modulation is the art of painting information onto this canvas by subtly altering the wave's properties. There are three primary ways to do this. 1. Amplitude modulation, AM. This is the simplest form. You vary the wave's amplitude, or its height and power. A strong, tall wave could represent a 1, while a weak, short wave could represent a 0. This is similar to how AM radio works, but Wi-Fi does it millions of times a second. 2. Frequency modulation, FM. Instead of changing the power, you can change the wave's frequency, or how close together the oscillations are. 3. Phase modulation, PM. This is the most sophisticated method used in modern Wi-Fi. It involves shifting the starting point of the wave's cycle. Imagine two identical waves, but one starts a fraction of a second later than the other. This phase shift can be used to encode data. By combining changes in both phase and amplitude, a technique called QAM or quadrature amplitude modulation, modern Wi-Fi can pack an enormous amount of information into a single wave. A single tiny variation can represent not just one bit, but 8, 10, or even more bits of data at once. So, when your laptop wants to send a request to Google, it isn't sending ones and zeros through the air. Its internal Wi-Fi chip acts as a translator. It takes that binary code and, through impossibly fast modulation, converts it into a complex series of tiny, precise variations in a radio wave. That wave, no longer a simple hum, but a complex, information-rich signal, is then broadcast by the antenna. Your computer has, in essence, transformed a digital thought into a fleeting, invisible energy pattern, a ghost of information ready to begin its journey through the air. Once that data is transformed into a modulated wave, it embarks on an incredible journey. These waves radiate outwards from your device's antenna at very nearly the speed of light, roughly 186,000 miles or 300,000 kilometers per second. In the time it takes you to blink, a Wi-Fi signal could theoretically travel around the Earth more than 7 times. It is a silent, invisible flash of energy, a whisper of data crossing a room in a handful of nanoseconds. But it's not just one whisper. In any given home, office, or coffee shop, the air is thick with them. Your phone is talking to the router. Your laptop is streaming music. Your smart TV is buffering a movie. Your neighbor's network is doing the same thing, as is the network next door to them. The air is a ballroom filled with a cacophony of competing signals, a chaotic storm of invisible energy. And yet, your device can pick out the one specific whisper meant for it with extraordinary precision. This is where the magic of the 802.11 standard comes in. It's not just a language, it's a set of strict rules for conversation. It dictates when a device can speak, transmit, how it listens for a clear channel, and how it confirms that its message was received correctly. Each packet of data is wrapped in a digital envelope with the specific address of its intended recipient. Devices are constantly listening, waiting for their address to be called before they process the information within. This constant, high-speed negotiation is like a symphony of invisible waves. Each device is an instrument, playing its part at the precise right moment. Its notes, the modulated radio waves, weaving through the complex harmony of the network. It's a performance of breathtaking complexity, a dance of signals choreographed by the laws of physics and the genius of engineering, all happening in the silent, empty spaces of your home, every second of every day. In the center of this intricate symphony stands the conductor, the silent, often forgotten orchestrator of your entire digital life, the router. We tend to think of it as a simple box with blinking lights, something to be unplugged and plugged back in when the internet stops working. But this humble plastic box is a technological marvel, a powerful, specialized computer whose only job is to manage the chaotic dance of data in your home. First and foremost, the router is a translator. It takes the wired internet signal coming from your wall, the data delivered via a physical cable from your internet service provider, and translates it into the wireless radio signals of Wi-Fi. It's the bridge between the vast global network of the internet and the personal, local network in your home. But its job is far more complex than simple translation. The router is also the ultimate traffic cop. At any given moment, dozens of data packets are flying towards it from multiple devices, while simultaneously, packets from the internet are flowing in. The router must manage this two-way traffic with incredible speed and intelligence. It examines each packet, determines its destination, and routes it to the correct device, whether it's a video stream for your TV or an email for your phone. How does it know where to send everything? Every single device capable of connecting to a network, your phone, laptop, even your smart fridge, has a unique hard-coded serial number called a MAC, Media Access Control Address. Think of it as the device's permanent, unchangeable fingerprint. When a device joins your Wi-Fi network, it registers its MAC address with the router. From that moment on, the router knows exactly who is who, allowing it to direct the right information to the right recipient amidst the storm of data. This unassuming box is a silent multitasker of the highest order. It's a translator, a traffic cop, a security guard, and a switchboard operator all at once. It's the unsung hero that makes our connected lives possible. The central nervous system of the modern home, quietly orchestrating a masterpiece of digital communication from a dusty shelf in the corner. If you've ever set up a modern router, you've likely seen two network names appear, often labeled something like My Network and My Network.5G. These represent the two primary freight lanes that Wi-Fi uses, the 2.84 GHz band and the 5 GHz band. They are not created equal, and understanding their differences is key to understanding how Wi-Fi performance is optimized. Think of the 2.4 GHz band as a winding single-lane country road. Its radio waves are longer and less energetic. This gives them a significant advantage. They are much better at penetrating solid objects. They can travel farther and more easily pass through walls, floors, and furniture. This makes the 2.4 GHz band excellent for providing coverage over a larger area, reaching that distant bedroom or backyard patio. However, this country road has some major traffic problems. It's an old, crowded highway. Not only do older Wi-Fi devices use it, but it's also cluttered with interference from a host of other common household gadgets. Bluetooth devices, cordless phones, garage door openers, and even microwave ovens all operate in this same frequency range. All this chatter creates a lot of noise, slowing down the traffic and making the connection less stable. Now, think of the 5 GHz band as a wide, multi-lane, modern superhighway. Its radio waves are shorter and more powerful. This allows them to carry much more data at much faster speeds, making it ideal for high-bandwidth activities like streaming 4K video, online gaming, and large file downloads. This superhighway is also much less crowded. There are more non-overlapping channels available, and fewer devices use this band, meaning there's significantly less interference. The trade-off? These shorter waves are more easily absorbed and reflected by solid objects. They have a shorter effective range and struggle to get through walls. The signal might be lightning fast in the same room as the router, but weak or non-existent 2 rooms away. This is why modern routers are dual-band. They broadcast on both frequencies simultaneously, giving you the best of both worlds. Many have a feature called band steering, which automatically analyzes your device's location and connection quality. If you're close to the router and need speed, it will intelligently push your device onto the 5 GHz highway. If you wander farther away and the signal weakens, it will seamlessly switch you over to the more reliable, longer-range 2.4 GHz country road. It's a constant, silent balancing act, ensuring you have the most stable and efficient connection possible, no matter where you are in your home. As our homes filled with more and more devices, all clamoring for a piece of the wireless pie, the old system of devices taking turns to talk to the router became a major bottleneck. It was like a polite but inefficient conversation where only one person could speak at a time. One of the most important technologies enabling this is called MIMO, which stands for multiple input, multiple output. Your router and your modern devices are no longer equipped with a single antenna. They have multiple. MIMO allows the router to use these multiple antennas to talk to multiple devices at the very same time. It's like giving the router multiple mouths and ears, allowing it to hold several conversations simultaneously. But it gets even more brilliant. A technology called MU-MIMO, multi-user MIMO, allows the router to not just talk to multiple devices at once, but to send a dedicated, separate stream of data to each one. It can carve up the wireless channel, sending a slice to your phone, a slice to your laptop, and another to your smart TV, all in the same instant. Another revolutionary feature of Wi-Fi 6 is OFDMA, Orthogonal Frequency Division Multiple Access. If MU-MIMO is about sending different streams to different devices, OFDMA is about efficiency. Imagine a delivery truck going to your neighbor's house with just one small package. It's a waste of a trip. OFDMA allows the router to bundle multiple small data packets destined for different devices into a single transmission. The delivery truck now leaves the warehouse full, making multiple stops on one efficient trip. This dramatically reduces latency, or lag, which is crucial for things like video calls and online gaming, where even a millisecond's delay can make a difference. This isn't just a faster version of old Wi-Fi. It's a fundamental rethinking of how wireless traffic is managed. It is a mathematically choreographed ballet of data, precisely timed and elegantly executed to ensure that dozens of devices can all perform at their peak simultaneously. It is the invisible engineering that allows a modern smart home, with its streaming TVs, gaming consoles, smart speakers, and countless other gadgets, to function without grinding to a halt. Broadcasting your personal information through the open air presents an obvious and serious problem. Anyone can listen in. Without protection, a person with the right equipment sitting in a car outside your house could potentially intercept your bank passwords, your private messages, and everything else you send and receive. This is why encryption is not an optional feature of Wi-Fi. It is an absolute necessity. From the very beginning, Wi-Fi has had security protocols in place to act as an invisible shield, scrambling your data into unreadable code. The earliest version, WEP, Wired Equivalent Privacy, was notoriously weak and easily cracked. It was soon replaced by WPA, Wi-Fi Protected Access, and then WPA2, which became the standard for over a decade. Today, the gold standard is WPA3. Here's how it works on a fundamental level. When you type in your Wi-Fi password, you are providing your device with a secret key. Your device and the router then engage in a complex mathematical handshake. Using this key, they generate a unique temporary encryption code for your current session. From that moment on, every single packet of data sent between your device and the router is scrambled using this code. The data is transformed from plain, readable text into a meaningless jumble of characters. If an attacker were to intercept this transmission, it would be utterly useless to them. It would look like digital gibberish. Only your router and your device, holding the same secret key, know how to unscramble it. Your password is the key that unlocks this continuous, real-time conversation of encoding and decoding. WPA3 takes this a step further. It offers even stronger encryption and protects you even on open, public Wi-Fi networks. It also makes it much harder for attackers to crack your password using brute force guessing attacks. This constant invisible encryption is the guardian of your digital life. It ensures that the symphony of waves filling your home remains a private conversation, turning your personal network into a secure digital fortress. The evolution of Wi-Fi speed is nothing short of breathtaking. It is a story of relentless innovation that has taken wireless performance from a frustrating trickle to a fire hose of data that rivals and sometimes even surpasses traditional wired connections. Let's put this leap into perspective. That first 802.11 standard in 1997 topped out at 2 megabits per second, Mbps. At that speed, downloading a single 4-minute song would take about 2 minutes. Downloading a full HD movie? Forget it. That would take you well over 24 hours. It was a technology of convenience, not performance. Then came the advancements, each new standard building upon the last. Wi-Fi 5, 802.1 AC, introduced in 2014, opened the floodgates further, operating exclusively on the cleaner 5 GHz band and pushing theoretical speeds into the multi-gigabit range, e.g., up to 3.5 Gbps or more. 4K streaming became commonplace. A full HD movie could now be downloaded in under 2 minutes. Today, Wi-Fi 6 and the emerging Wi-Fi 6E can achieve theoretical speeds of nearly 10 gigabits per second. That movie that took over a day to download in 1997, it can now be downloaded in about 4 seconds. This exponential growth wasn't achieved by simply turning up the power. It was the result of a cascade of brilliant engineering solutions, more sophisticated modulation, packing more data into each wave, better and more numerous antennas, MIMO, smarter traffic management, OFDMA, and refined signal timing that allows for cleaner, more robust transmissions. This incredible journey from megabits to gigabits has fundamentally reshaped our relationship with the internet. It has untethered entertainment, transformed how we work and learn, and laid the foundation for the hyper-connected smart homes of today. It is a testament to the power of incremental, persistent innovation, pushing the boundaries of what is possible one wave at a time. The evolution of wireless is far from over. As our appetite for data grows and our world becomes ever more connected, engineers are already developing the next generation of technologies that will make even today, FPDS Wi-Fi seem quaint. On the horizon is the next major standard, Wi-Fi 7, 8.1.2.11bde. It promises another quantum leap in performance, with theoretical speeds potentially reaching a staggering 30 to 40 gigabits per second. But Wi-Fi 7 isn't just about raw speed. It's about near-perfect reliability and almost non-existent latency. It aims to deliver a wireless experience so fast and stable that it can handle multiple 8K video streams, demanding cloud gaming and augmented and virtual reality applications without breaking a sweat. It will achieve this by using even wider channels, more advanced MIMO, and the ability to combine multiple frequency bands at once, creating an incredibly robust and resilient connection. But perhaps the most futuristic idea being explored is Li-Fi, or light fidelity. Imagine a world where every LED light bulb in your ceiling is also a wireless access point. Li-Fi technology modulates the light from an LED bulb to transmit data. The flickering is so incredibly fast, millions of times per second, that it is completely invisible to the human eye, but it can be read by a photodetector on a device. Li-Fi offers the potential for mind-boggling speeds, far faster than Wi-Fi. And because light doesn't pass through walls, it creates an inherently secure network confined to a single room. While it won't replace Wi-Fi, which can travel through walls, it could be used in specific, high-density environments like airplane cabins, hospitals, or secure corporate offices. The air itself, the very space around us, is being transformed into a vast, invisible, and ever more intelligent network. What began as a quest to cut a single cable has evolved into a mission to embed connectivity into the very fabric of our environment. The pulse of the digital age is no longer confined to wires. It is carried on the air, in the light, all around us. When you strip away the gigahertz, the modulation schemes, and the acronyms, you are left with something truly profound. Wi-Fi is more than just a utility. It is a monumental human achievement, a quiet testament to our species' relentless drive to connect, to share, and to understand. Every time you send a message to a loved one across the globe, you are participating in this miracle. Your thoughts, your emotions, your words are translated into the stark, cold language of binary. That binary is then transformed into the physical energy of a radio wave, a silent, invisible pattern that dances through the space between you and your router. It travels across a global network of wires and light, only to be reconstituted at the other end. The energy pattern becoming binary, the binary becoming words, the words appearing on a screen to be read and understood. It is a process of translation on a cosmic scale, from human thought into digital code, from digital code into light and motion, and back again. Wi-Fi is a metaphor for connection itself. It is the invisible thread that weaves our digital lives together, collapsing distance and fostering community in ways we could have scarcely imagined just a generation ago. It is a reminder that some of the most powerful and beautiful things in our modern world, knowledge, love, art, and friendship, are, like the Wi-Fi signals that carry them, completely invisible to the naked eye. They exist in the hidden spaces, in the silent transmissions that give our lives meaning and depth. The story of Wi-Fi is ultimately a story about us. It's about our desire to break down barriers and to share our experiences. It's a lesson in how a simple idea, the dream of cutting the cord, can, through decades of ingenuity and perseverance, completely reshape the world. The next time your phone connects seamlessly, take a moment to appreciate the invisible symphony playing out all around you. Recognize the beauty in the system, the elegance in the engineering, and the profound human connection it makes possible. And now, I have a question for you. What was the first moment you remember realizing the magic of wireless internet? Was it the first time you used a laptop on the couch, or perhaps streaming a video in a cafe? Share your Wi-Fi moment in the comments below. I'd love to read your stories. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history of a simple, yet extraordinary thing, I hope this has given you a new appreciation for the invisible world that powers our lives. And if you enjoyed unraveling this mystery and want to explore more stories behind the everyday objects that shape our world, please don't forget to like this video. And most importantly, subscribe to Quantization Technology. Your support helps us continue to tell these incredible stories. We'll see you in the next one.